Hi, I'm Josh of the Fun Times Guide, and I have my wife over here,
Janine.
and we are here to go through a roll of pennies. Now, I have done various videos before on pennies and nickels, dimes, and quarters, even half dollars, and going through rolls, but never actually going through the rolls on a video. So I thought, why not do it right now?
Right now.
So my wife loves coins as well, and we
Whole bunch.
Yeah, so we shared interest in coins, and that's why we're here together doing this. So we ended up going to our local bank and ended up buying one roll of pennies, 50 come to a roll, 50 cents to buy a roll. And we thought one roll because, first of all, we don't have an 18-hour video going through a box of pennies, but also it's more realistic that you might go to a grocery store or a bank or whatever and pick up a roll or two. So we thought this might be more relatable to those who are going through rolls of coins on a more casual basis. So I think without further ado, we should go through this roll and see if there's any good coins in here or not.
Let's do it.
Now, what are we looking for?
I think
copper pennies for sure, the pre-82 pennies.
and wheat cents.
Oh, wheat cents, yes, yes. In fact, the very first coin I ever found that got me involved in the hobby was 1941 Lincoln wheat cent that I got in my lounge change. They really like this. They really sealed this roll pretty well. Well, let's go ahead and bang on the table. And we almost cracked it. We have a little tear going on here.
Is that seriously how you have to do it?
Well, it depends on the kind of roll. You know what I'm going to do? It's not as fun as when it's tear the sun. All right. If we have a little handy dandy table here in front of us. We're going to stump these coins out of the roll. And I do see some copper in here already. That's a good start. You know, it's important when you get a roll of coins, if you're looking for old dates and such, that hopefully you don't score a roll of all uncirculated late date coins like from last year or from this year, unless you're looking for new varieties and such. That has a purpose too. But if you're looking for old dates, you want to look for a privately assembled roll or one that the banks put together. So, anything standing out to you so far? I see a couple of goodies in here at least.
Do you have a magnifying glass?
A magnifying glass? What for?
I can't see.
You know what? I didn't happen to bring a magnifying glass with me. So, since my vision might be a little bit sharper, if you want, you can go ahead and give those pieces you're unsure about to me. So what I find so far, we have a 1974 Lincoln cent. Now, circulated Lincoln cents really from 59 on aren't worth much in terms of value unless they're uncirculated. But having said that, we keep an eye out for the pre-1982 Lincoln cents. Now, why pre-82? 1982 was the year the U.S. Mint went from using a 95% copper composition to basically a zinc core that's plated with copper. And because copper prices have gone up in the last number of years, any pre-82 Lincoln cent, except for the 43 steel cents, they're worth money because of their copper value alone. And as of this recording in mid-2024, you're looking at about 3 cents more or less for any pre-82 copper cent. And I see you're pulling out some coins there. What do you have over there, honey?
I'm just pulling out the new coins.
Okay, we have a 1981 Lincoln cent, the cusp of the copper
So I know it's not an old coin because of the new 1 cent.
Oh, Union Shield, yeah.
The Union Shield.
1979 Lincoln cent, another copper find there. And now I don't see any wheat cents yet. Another 1979. This 79, actually, if you can tell here on the camera, it's circulated, but it's actually pretty lightly worn. It has some luster to it. So we have 4.
This looks like it has chemical damage.
A third 1979
Look.
Lincoln cent.
Chemical damage, correct?
Oh yeah, zinc cents, they're notorious for their corrosion issues. Let's see, we have a 1969 Lincoln cent over here. So another copper era Lincoln cent.
More chemical.
So we definitely found some copper. That's a good start for one roll of pennies. Now we have a 1982 Lincoln cent. Now that's the year, like I was saying a minute ago, that the mint went from going from a copper-based composition to a zinc-based composition. But about half, more or less, of those pennies from that year are copper. and the other half more or less are zinc. So how do you tell a copper 82 cent from a zinc 82 cent? Well, we can tell by use of a couple different ways. If we had a gram scale in front of us, which I actually have one, but it's in a different room. I don't want to get up and all that, so I'm here in front of the camera. We could be able to weigh the 82 cent and see if it weighs about 3 to 3.1 grams. If it weighs 3 to 3.1 grams, it's a copper cent. If it weighs 2.5 grams, more or less, it's a zinc cent. Another way you can tell, though, is if you drop a copper penny on a hard surface, it'll have like a slight ring to it, whereas zinc cents have a clicking sound upon contact with the hard surface. So I'm going to drop, now just to show you an example. So here's a zinc cent right here, okay? When I drop it on this hard surface, it'll make a kind of a clicking sound. Hear that? Now here is a known copper cent. It's from 1973. Yeah.
Maybe you should do it over here because you can't see it.
Well, that's a good point. See, that's why I married her. She's very smart. This will make a ringing sound when it hits a hard surface. Hear that? It's very distinctive. Let's see if this 82 cent makes a ringing sound or a clicking sound. Hear that? That's copper. That's a copper 82 cent. So that's definitely a keeper. Any more finds over here, hon?
Well, I found this one looks like it got ran over.
Oh my gosh.
So I know that when you ask
Show everybody that penny.
I will. So when you ask people when people on the Fun Times Guide ask questions, I know that sometimes they're excited because they have these marks and stuff. This one's evident. It's like,
yeah, that looks like it was dropped in acid.
Acid or ran over 1,000 times and then scraped.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's, if you're lucky if that's worth face value there. 1970 copper cents. So we're finding some really cool
what about
copper
this
cents.
One? This one has like the...
Let me see that one. This
How
is
that one?
really dingy 2003.
Are you serious?
Lincoln cent. I mean, it looks unusual, and some folks might think it might be an error because it's like all scratched up or whatever. But it's just a heavily postment damaged. I don't know if you can see it there in the camera or not.
You can see the grain.
But yeah, you can tell it's corroded and it has some pitting issues. So it's definitely worth face value and nothing more, unfortunately.
Is this 81?
That is an 81. That's the very last full year of copper production.
Your birth year.
That's my birth year.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
To you.
I just turned 23.
Hello.
No, I did not. It's an 81 Lincoln cent. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 9 copper cents so far to 50. This would be an 82. Let's go ahead and drop it and see what it sounds like.
And this is...
I hear a ring. Yeah,
Oh,
that's copper.
I hear the ring.
That's copper. Pretty cool.
This is 1999
Let me see.
or 1994.
That is 1999.
Woohoo!
Senior year of high school.
I was in 7th
You were
grade.
not
7th?
senior, 99.
No, I was in 7th, 8th grade.
Yeah, I robbed the cradle. I married her.
Not by much. We met in our 30s.
Yes, we did.
I can't read this one.
84. Let me see.
7?
Now I will say.
1997?
Let me see. We have a 2007. Close.
Ooh, I didn't read that.
And we have an 84. Now the 84 Lincoln cents, keep an eye on because there is a known double die with 84 Lincoln cents. Looking for a doubled ear. And the way you would tell a doubled ear in 1984 Lincoln cent is if you look at the lobe of Lincoln's ear, you would see that there's like a doubling, like a second lobe hanging down from his eye. And I can tell off the bat this is not a doubled ear. But go to the Fun Times Guide, look at 1984 Lincoln cents, and I explain all about the 84 double dies and what to look for and what they're worth. But this, unfortunately, is not an 84 double die, so we can go ahead and spend that at the store next time.
Is this...
That is a 2000, let me see if I may, 2007. That's our second 07? Is that right?
Another shield.
Another shield cent. We're almost out of pennies already. A 1969 Denver Lincoln cent.
Another just
As if you can see
dirty,
that.
damaged one.
Dirty damaged.
Dirty, damaged. I wish I could find a rainbow.
95 rainbow toning. Yeah, those are pretty.
But not chemical.
95
rainbow.
Lincoln cent.
Patina.
You'd be looking for a doubling in the inscription of liberty. Light and gotta be trusted.
If I know anything,
and I can tell off the bat. I don't see that in here. Yes, you may.
Okay, he's been speaking a lot. He knows a lot.
I'm Irish. Skip to the gab.
You already were gabbing.
I know.
Okay, so everything I know about coins, I know from him.
Whoa.
But I've been with him for 8 years, so there's a little bit of time to learn. Look, it's 1977.
That's the year that both of our sets of parents got married.
Yeah.
Yes.
His was in July. Mine was
2nd.
in May. Mine was May 7th. My
Yeah.
parents. We're learning our whole life story.
I know. And that 1977 Lincoln cent looks like it was just struck yesterday.
It is beautiful.
Love that.
I know. I'm like looking at it
It's
a whole
amazing.
lot. Isn't it beautiful, guys?
You
Look.
see the luster on that penny. Just the cartwheel effect is incredible on that.
Oh, it's upside down.
Well, I'm sure they get the idea. Close enough. There we go.
See? It's very pretty.
Very pretty. And it's a copper coin.
I
so
think
we'll
this
keep
is my favorite coin thus
I
far.
agree. And
My favorite number is 7, so
looking through here, there really are no other
that's
keepers.
2007.
Looking for any dates of significance that involve varieties. 1971 Denver Lincoln cent. Here's
That's
another copper
cool.
right there. I think we're near the end of the road with our roll.
End of the road.
Any coppers over there?
There's a copper.
77.
Is that a copper?
So 1999. No, that'd be
No,
about
that's not a
17
copper.
years after the last copper circulating cents are made.
You know, you put
And all the rest are zinc.
Yeah.
So we found 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 copper cents out of 50 pennies in that roll. Really isn't too bad.
It's 1995.
95. See, in 95, you want to look for double die, obverse diagnostics. And this is actually a Denver, and there were no significant
What year
double
is
dies
this one?
from the Denver mint that year.
Is that the 1999?
That would be a 84. That's the one that we looked for that might have had the double ear, but unfortunately no.
99.
99.
The 99.
What I will look for in 99 is a wide AM, which means, so on the reverse of Lincoln pennies of the 1990s, there are some variations in how close or far the base of the letters A and M in the word America are. And in the case of 1998, 99, and 2000 pennies, reverse, if you see like a really wide gap at the base of the A and M in the word America, they're keepers because that's a type of die that was, or design rather, struck by a die not intended for circulating Lincoln cents during those years. Now conversely, in 1992, you can see me now,
I know.
the close AM penny would show almost no gap between the base of the A and M in the word America. And those are worth thousands of dollars, but they're very, very rare. So I write about those also in the Fun Times Guide. You can look them up via 1992 Lincoln cents on Google. Type in Fun Times Guide. You'll get right to the article that explains all about the close AM pennies and also the wide AM pennies for 1998, 99, and 2000, as well as their values. What do we have there, honey?
I'm trying to figure out. I think these are the last two.
The last two.
I just sift through all the ones he was putting right back
1990. This is a good chance to talk about 1990 No Mintmark pennies. You know how many questions I've received over the years about 1990 pennies that have no mint mark? People know that they're worth something because they've come across it online and they want to find out for 1990 pennies that have no mint mark like this one, which I hope you can see. We need to get a zoom lens on this. Anyway, there's no mint mark under the 1990 date on this 90 penny. And a lot of folks will ask me if they have the 1990 No S penny. Now, I can tell you that, yes, this 1990 penny and 1990 No S penny of great value might look kind of the same because they don't have a letter under the date. But this is a Philadelphia mint struck 1990 penny. And that there are millions and millions upon millions of 1990 pennies out there that don't have mint mark under it. They're very common. They're worth face value. The 1990 No S penny comes in proof sets, and they look super shiny. The design of Lincoln has like a frosted look to it, and the lettering also looks frosted. You can tell a 1990 No S proof penny from a 1990 Philadelphia Mintmark penny. If you look at the two online, actually in my article on 1990 pennies, I talk all about the No Mintmark variety, what to look for, what they're worth. So, great example coins to talk about here tonight, and we made some good finds with copper pennies.
This is the 1995, and I just wanted to show you. Nice, shiny.
It's really hard to find older zinc Lincoln cents that look that good because corrosion is a big, like I said, a big problem with zinc pennies. But I'll tell you what, this was a good set of finds. Nothing super extraordinary. We're not going to pay the mortgage off with the finds tonight, but I think we did a good job. 14 copper cents, yep. And a bunch of spending money there for our next penny roll run. Yes. So again, Josh of the Fun Times Guide, my wife,
Jane.
And we thank you for watching our video. We hope you like it. If you do, please click like, hit share, comment below. We'll be back in the future with more.
And tell us how we can do better on these, because it's totally our first time. So
yes,
thank you for watching.
So
I know half our heads were on the screen sometimes, but
heck, my head's always off anyway. So.
No. Have a good day, guys.
Take care.
Thank you.